Oh boy, here we are. On today's 30-minute mechanic, we're going to put that big motor into that red car. So buckle up, let's go. Off camera yesterday, I put the headers on it because, y'all have watched me put headers on stuff. I'm looking at you, red car. Way too many times. Nobody wants to watch me tighten up 900 header bolts. So headers are on. Took the alternator off because I'm switching to a one-wire GM style alternator. Just to keep things simple. I used to have one that worked well, and then it finally died. So I got another one coming. But we got the car all jacked up. What I do, I'll back up here. What I usually do is jack the back end up with my jack stands, put it back there, and raise the back end up pretty high, just to lessen the angle that I got to go in and set it down. So we got the engine bay all opened up here. Shifter cable kind of hanging in the way, but it'll be fine. Steering shaft, popped it loose, flopped it over the side, so we got a nice big hole to drop this big motor into. Okay. The day we've all been waiting for. Probably since you first clicked on the very first video, you've been waiting for me to actually put that in there. Done this a few times, so I kind of know what I'm up against. It's a lot easier with the engine mount on the front or even a motor plate because you don't have the motor mount pieces sticking up off the K-member to bang into the headers. You can do it that way. I've done it several times that way. You just got to really dive her in there and pull out. But without the motor mount things on the K-member, it should just go right in pretty easily and smoothly. If I can get this darn thing to roll over there without running over a piece of salt and getting hung up. So let's yep, I guess we need to start jacking it up. You may have to pardon my sniffing today because it's cold out here. So probably all I'm going to do here is I'm going to jam the motor in. Not going to mess around too much in the shop today because it's cold and going to get colder. Got a pretty good bag of transmission fluid hanging off the back there. See if we can't drive this thing that direction a little better. Yeah. Oops, went too far. Too far. If somebody was smart, they would build. See, I'm running over something over there. Kidding me? I mean, you sweep the floor, try to do everything, and you still run over junk. If somebody was brilliant, they would invent a powered engine hoist that you could drive, electric, or you could drive it backwards, forwards, up, down. I mean, they got the up, down things with the air over oil hydraulic cylinders. But if you had one that could drive frontwards and backwards, That would be awesome. Okay, let's go up more with this dude. We're gonna get into, actually, let's see if that wheel will turn first when we get it too much higher. Oh, hammer. Well, let's just do a little frontwards backwards maneuver here. Okay. I have no idea what I was run over, but do it this way. What's fun is now I know how much this thing weighs. Okay, let's see if we can go forward with it just a little bit. Well, maybe a little bit higher. Now this is where it gets dicey because you're rolling 755 pounds, 750 pounds way up in the air. So if it falls off, I've got a pretty good, I'll have it on video. All right. Now that we're at this point, I might move you around. All right, I'm kind of struggling to get good camera angles here, but anyways, we're dangling precariously above our engine bay now. Then we can start easing her down just a little bit, because we want that tail shaft. I want that tail shaft to just go right into the transmission tunnel. See, if I had an electric one right here, I could just neat with a button and roll this thing forward. The phrase that comes to my mind right now as I'm sticking this in is Vice Grip Garage. When he's pouring oil into something, he'll say, "Drink up, little buddy." And that was what popped into my head as I was lowering this engine in. Okay, 83, drink up, little buddy. Gently float it. Okay, let's pause. What was that? Something fell off. Oh my gosh. The evac, the end of the evac literally just fell off. I think it maybe just barely touched that is terrible. Those were new. They were not new this time, but I bought them new before race week 2023. That's awful. Okay. Looks like we may need to go driver just a little bit. That transmission line is tucked in where it'll drip fluid everywhere. And we're on a pretty good trajectory here. Pretty good. Here, I'll just let you take a quick peeky. Pretty good trajectory. Get a good view of it out here. Swinging around, you can see how everything's kind of coming together. We're going to kind of have to do a little do-si-do, get around the steering shaft right there, but that's not going to be a big deal, I don't think. Put you back and I'll continue on. on the steering shaft over here, I have a, that's not it. What size is that? Good gravy. It's not 13. On my steering shaft over here, I built a new steering shaft kind of for it, using steering shaft parts I had lying around, and that doesn't want to come off. Now, because I did that, it's a little bit taller than used to. You just pull the steering shaft off and it was just the stub sticking up. I'm gonna jack it up just a hair. Just the steering shaft stub sticking up, and I can go shoo right over the top of it. But now, since I have that additional piece that I made on there, it's too tall. And if I didn't have evacs on here, it would fit just perfectly. But since I have the evac, it's bonking right into the darn thing. It's not functioning like I want it to. Go on. Oh my gosh. I'm dropping everything. There we go. That'll dude. Okay. Now my evac will shoot right over the top. Put those on the floor because I may need them again. Something else. Who knows? All right. Continuing on. Well, my apologies for not getting it in there closer, but look, it's sitting in there on the mount. Chainsaw select. All right. Boy, I'm happy that part's done. I did smush a brake line right there. Just goished it right over. And I'm 100% sure that's not the first time. I'm not even showing you. Right there. Just squashed it with a header tube. I know. You're saying, hey, if you'd not welded those tubes on there, you wouldn't have done that. Yeah. And if I'd routed that brake line differently, I wouldn't have done that either, which I might just do. I'm just having ideas already. Actually, at one time I had manual brakes on this car, And of course, that puts the master cylinder way up here, which then it's totally out of the way. And it was a Ranger master cylinder, so the lines came out on the fender side, and it made it real clean over there. It made it easy to get the spark plugs and all that. But I got the power brakes on it now, which they work okay. Whatever. I could always go back. I still got all the parts. But the power brakes are going to stay, I think, for now. Okay, got the engine hoist out of the way, so there's a little better look. You can see how everything fits in there. Pretty tight, but you know, once it's in there, it's good. So there's surprisingly more room between the valve cover and the firewall than you'd probably guess there would be. If I had a different set of headers, well, if I was still using the front exit headers, I could move this engine back another, I don't know, 2 inches and make a lot more room up front. But these hookers, you can see them, they kind of match the let me see, boop. They match the angle of the firewall right back there. So you can't really go back. I mean, I could go back. That header's dented, so that lets me, I could move back another 1/4 of an inch. That's not a big deal. I'm not gonna mess with that. This side's a little tighter up by the booster, and that's a valve cover I modified way back when I very first put this engine in this car. So back in 2000, whatever, 2011, had to put a notch in it to clear that booster. So anyways, mashed one brake line. Oh well, casualty. I got an idea how I'm going to reroute that dude, maybe where it's not pointed. Probably should do both of those, where they're not just pointed right at the valve cover. It's probably not a bad idea. I wonder if they make right angle. I bet they do. I bet they make little right angle hoochies to go in there. I'm going to look. I'm going to research that. Okay, battery's going to be up here. I do need to scoot it back. I have some little spacers that go right here and scoot this thing back just about 3/8 of an inch to give me a little better fan to water pump clearance right here. So we'll scoot it back and then stick the bolts in, and actually I can put the bolts in probably before that because the spacers are giant letter E's. Okay, I'm just going to put a couple bolts in here in the mount just to keep everything from moving around. Oh my gosh. I love the ratchety box ends, but the ones with the flippy head, sometimes they are frustrating. Because the flippy head wants to flippy. Where is my instrument of influence? No idea. Oh, I know where it is. It's way back at the back. That one's a little bigger than. Oop. Hammer. Yeah. Take a look at these old turkeys. 2 evacs. They both just went bloop, barely bonk them, and they just popped completely off. I guess I should have taken them off before I stuck it in there. I didn't think about it. Broke them. Yeah, well. Not 100% sure I'm going to run evacs anymore. I ran them, and then it seemed like they really work good when you're going down the highway, and they really suck a lot of stuff out the keeps the motor clean, you know, with dribble from, you know, run down the highway 3,000 RPMs for hours. But it sure seems like it takes a lot of oil. Maybe they just need to be baffled better. I don't know. Let's see if I can get some of these, get my spacers wiggled in here. I said 3/8. That's more like a quarter. Where's my big problem is I don't remember which one. I think that'll probably go there. Just get it started. Then I need my smaller influential unit. Can't believe I didn't poke a hole in that big bag of transmission fluid. That bolt is in the way. Okay, one spacer in. Now the other one. And you wouldn't believe how much a quarter of an inch can help sometimes. Really does help. If I need to lift up on that in the back. Too fat. There we go. Big side goes down, I think. Oh, perfect. Hammer. Perfect. Man, we have done all the good today. Let's go ahead and wiggle a nut. Actually, that one's even loose now. Slides right in. Oh, gosh. Slides right in. Okay, I'm not going to tighten these up yet because I don't have my transmission mount in. So, I mean, I guess could, but not gonna. I am gonna drain that big old bag of transmission fluid into there. Come on. Yeah, of course. Of course, that one doesn't want to. That one doesn't want to screw on. What am I about? Come on. Now I can do it with my fingers. Okay. Sweet. Motor's in. Touch down. Sometimes I've taken the valve covers off when I did that, but I need to do it this time without doing that. And one time I had to take the transmission shield off. But that was before, that was when I was trying to do it without the K-member spacers. This, I have 1.5 inch K-member spacers on this car. It lowers the K-member, drops the motor relative to the body a little bit. Really makes this stuff fit better. Well, I mean, it gives you 1.5 inches more hood clearance. It drops the valve covers down. The valve covers would be this high, and man, you can't get to that. You can't get to that back valve cover bolt for nothing if you have it jacked up. Now this mount I made, here, I built it when I had the motor mounts on the K-member with the swap, the hooker swap, or I guess Ford Racing swap mounts on there. So I had the motor mounted, and then I built this. So the motor is offset to the passenger side, like factory, like it should be. So that gives you plenty of header room on both sides. Some K-members center the motor, and then that causes all kinds of trouble on the driver's side because the headers want to bonk, particularly that number 8 tube that comes out, the one that smashed my brake line. It wants to hit the frame over there, and like on the green car over there, I put a big dent in this one to try to clear because that K-member centers the motor. Anyways, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Now I can get the transmission mount under it, and then I can carry on, start wiring stuff. Now, have you ever had one of those moments where you open too many drawers on your toolbox and it tries to fall over and kill you? Yep, just did that. Tried to fall out. Tried to wreck everything. Managed to escape largely unscathed. Now, I thought I'd show you all this. There's the big old bag. Oh my gosh, of transmission fluid. That would have been on my floor had I not put a bag on there. And I probably could have found a slip yoke to fit in there, but yeah, nope. I don't know what's going to happen here, but we're about to poke a hole in it. Maybe. My poker's not sharp enough. Let me grab oh, dang. When I did that, I hit the bad knee on the floor. That's bad news, because it really hurts. Okay, got a little tiny box knife here. Let's see if we can poke a little tiny hole in that without creating a huge mess. I'm gonna try that. I was gonna try to cut more, but I felt like if I got greedy, I was gonna do something wrong and really make a mess. I'll just let it drain into my tub. Well, that's a lot. Now, transmission mount. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do about the transmission mount. I have a Foxbody one. Actually, that Foxbody one might work fine. Hope you can't see my old ugly welds under here on my subframe connectors. It was done many years ago, and then I just kind of left it alone. And I got transmission fluid all over my hands. Hate that stuff. Probably about time to change that fluid. Smells. Looks like it's been a little warm. I think that's 100% that other converter slipping. And doing Rocky Mountain Race Week in the mountains, pulling a trailer. All right, that's going to do it for 30-minute mechanic today. Look, we got our big block and our C6 sitting back in our Foxbody Mustang. Took some wrangling around and smushed the brake line. Actually, I may have salvaged the brake line. I bent it back out. Maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. If it leaks, I'll change it. But I'm still going to look and see if I can come up with some 90-degree fittings to come out of that master cylinder. That would make life so much better. I put the transmission cross member under there. I was going back and forth about maybe trying to use an SN95 transmission mount because it's more solid and doesn't have the rubber. But in the end, it was longer hole to hole than my Foxbody one. So I was like, I don't want to mess with it. I'll just stick the Foxbody one in there. It worked. It worked previously, so it'll work again. So I didn't show that part. That was a whole lot of getting up, getting down, getting up, getting down, getting under, getting up, getting down, getting under, getting up, and just sometimes it takes a while to get it in there, and having the jacks in the wrong place on the wrong side of the car. That was the most frustrating part. I had one jack over here, one jack over there, and I kept having to go around, jack those one down, that one down, and back and forth, back and forth. So I didn't even show that. So count yourself lucky. Hit the description, check out my friends' channels, see what those guys are up to. But for now, and me, like, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends, tell your friends. We'll see you next time. Bye.